All right, welcome to wherever you're listening from. Could be Spotify, could be YouTube, probably Spotify to be honest. It's probably Spotify. Today we're going to talk about some Game Awards stuff. Not Game Awards, what am I saying? Anime Awards that happened for Crunchyroll recently that I have strong opinions about. I don't know if everybody else.
This should be
People
fun.
going to like come at me like they come at me about Demon Slayer because I'm just like these people don't know what's good anime is. Anyway, so we're going to talk about that and a little bit of marathon news and some recommendations. Without further ado, I'm joined by Elijah and Demi.
Yeah.
Elijah, what's you been up to?
Bro, not much. I've just been playing this particular game that when we get to the recommendations we'll touch on it, but that's been taking most
you can do it now. You can do it now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, do it now.
I don't know if I mentioned it earlier before, but I just kind of played it, but I've played it a lot more, pumped a lot more hours into it. So it's called Clear Obscure Expedition 33, which is like a game that was developed by former Ubisoft junior developers mostly. So the developers mostly came from Ubisoft. It's like a French game. It's a JRPG. Oh,
yeah,
it's a French game. It's a JRPG. It's a JRPG.
It's like when you say like, "Oh, is Invincible anime?" And it's like, no.
Invincible's more, no. Invincible, no. Invincible is more like
It's a
or if Avatar is an anime.
And Avatar is not an anime.
Yeah, but it's very, very inspired.
But it's very anime influenced. Is the way I don't think Claire Obscure is a JRPG.
It's 2B Hero X anime.
I don't know. Is that one
even though it's not big? I think it's Chinese. It's in the Chinese or South Korean.
Yeah, that's good.
Solo Leveling, is that anime?
Yes.
I'm going to say
that one's maybe it's just like that region
because just do stereotypes
because
now,
I'm sorry. Well, I'm now stepping on my own foot here because in my head it's like if it's not Japanese then it's not it's not anime.
So we can call this a Western RPG, right? And there's nothing like, say, Witcher 3.
Oh, what do
Western
you mean?
RPGs have their own kind of aesthetic.
Yeah,
when you look at it, like Skyrim, Western RPG. Kingdom Come Deliverance, Western RPG, and you look at Clear Obscure Expedition 33. It's a JRPG.
I just don't like that.
It's got so many elements of JRPG. It's got so much like the Easter eggs and the setting and the
completely agree. Yeah. I just the label just like was JRPG. It's a JRPG. Like JRPG influenced is what I would be like. JRPG. I mean, we all have our own thing.
I know but
carry on.
Anyway, carry on.
It's fine.
Yeah. As usual, the tangents, right? But anyway, I was playing this game and like it's not just the gameplay that's really engaging for a turn-based game, because usually a lot of people think that turn-based games are old-fashioned. Like Tega doesn't like doesn't like turn-based.
Tega needs to sit down.
But when you play it, and it's got such an interesting concept of how you can't just be like this. Like you always
the guy keeps getting stray shots every episode.
He's not here to defend himself. He's an easy target.
When he comes back in, then he let us know.
Because it's like, I mean, I've never disliked turn-based games, so it's just like he's part of the problem. He's the reason.
He's the reason we paid $80 for games, right?
He's the reason we paid $80 for games, and he's the reason why the latest Final Fantasy games aren't turn-based for some reason. I blame tech.
Bro, the story's not even good anymore. That was the thing.
That's the thing, as well. But anyway, and the Clear Obscure story up here is pretty good as well.
No, my God, the story. By the way, I'm just doing the side quest basically. I can finish the game if I wanted to.
Right.
But I'm just going the side quest. But it feels like Nier Automata's like the lore is so interesting that it gives you more questions and answers. I'm like wanting to go back and think, I'm like, I need to actually sit back and understand the lore of this game. But anyway, that's just the story. But you got the gameplay, which is probably in terms of turn-based gameplay, probably one of the best concepts I can think of in terms of the parry and dodge system. I don't know if you'll count it as a QTE event. No, it's not. It requires some level of skill. It kind of almost feels like Elden Ring in terms of like the parries, like in terms of you gotta get it right on the frame, and if you don't, you get punished.
There was Final Fantasy Oh, which one was that? I can't remember. It's the one. Is it X2? No. Yeah, X2. There was something similar there, but only for one similar thing. If you use a gunslinger, you
Okay.
use like you use one attack, and basically you have to hit the triggers, and the amount of times helping each triggers is it gives you like a shot
Yeah,
with every click. It reminds me a little bit of that, but like times 20.
bro, it's really hard. Like in theory, you can never get hit in the game,
Mm.
but in terms definitely the boss battles and then the rhythms, and they change the rhythms when they get more powers or they get angry. It's really complex stuff in such a kind of simple kind of process. But bro, like the game is just so engaging. Even the fight, what's it called? The leveling up system is very interesting as well, with the Pictos and Luminas. Bro, it's like it's a generational game, and I think it's one of the best RPGs I've ever played. Forget turn based, ever. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was using turn based before the thing, but ever, it might be my top 10. That's how much I rate it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how much I rate the game heavily. Like I thought people were, one of those games like people hyping on 9 out of 10. Like, but you play, I'm like, I can see. I can't really fault the game at all. Depending on how they've made it, who's made it, the time taken to make it, I'm blown away by how good it is.
Right. Okay, I might have to give it a go.
I'm actually thinking, could this be should this be a franchise, or should it just be like a standalone? I don't know. I'd love to see a sequel though, but I'm thinking at the same time,
I mean, would you rather say a sequel, or would you rather just see them do a game that's of a similar sort of style, but just a different IP?
Maybe if they do like a different IP, if they do like a Final Fantasy where it's a different story, different setting, different everything, but maybe they keep that battle system.
Yeah.
Then okay.
Just do like a spin on it, basically.
A spin off, yeah. But then with Final Fantasy, they're always changing the system, so I don't know if they can really go down that route.
Yeah, but even Final Fantasy
kind of have to be a sequel, isn't it?
Yeah, even Final Fantasy, right? Like Final Fantasy have like a general sort of like theme that they use when they're creating like their games. You get that?
Well, is it Charlie Cox? That's one of the voices.
Yeah, he's
they have
one of the main characters.
I think they even have what's his face in it as well. I can't remember his name. He was in he was the guy whose Ultron's got his hand off. I can't remember his name. He's in it as well.
And what's his name? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, they've got some big time actors, and the voice acting. Oh my god, they're so good.
That is so cool.
Because Final Fantasy have a thing where basically like the turn-based ones anyway, where they have a generic system where it's like you have magic, you have your summons, you have like job system, and they just basically just spin on that. So, but in every Final Fantasy game that are turn-based anyway, it's always that kind of like thing where it's like you have a job system, even if they go, all right, we're going to break job system out and it's going to be like this big sphere where you have to pick stuff up from, rather than it being like tied to a particular class, or if it's like, the skills are in gems and then you get the skills off the gems. Like it's always like the theme is generally always the same, but they just sort of like rearrange or redesign it. So they could definitely do something like that for a different IP, but then it's harder to, I guess, depends how big their brand thing is. Because when back in the day, you see Capcom, you see Squaresoft, you see, and then you're like, I'm going to buy that game because I know they'll do Blizzard as well. I'm going to buy that game because you know that the brand recognition is there. But for them, they're probably more likely to just do another Clear Obscure because they know that really it's about the game more so than it's about them.
Yeah. That's the thing. Anyway. I mean, they could make a franchise. I'm just kind of scared of once you start making it bigger than it is, it just becomes, I think the magic of it was like it felt like an indie game,
Yeah,
I think it is.
It is an indie game.
Exactly, but if they want to turn it into a franchise, they'll probably move away from that.
Yeah. Okay.
You never know. But no, highly, highly, highly recommend. If you love JRPGs, if you love RPGs in general, just play that game.
Okay, cool, nice.
It's quite cheap as well. So.
All right, Demi, what have you been doing apart from work? Apart from hustling?
God, I hustle every day. In fact, literally, while you guys were talking, I was about to send an invoice to a client. So my life, this is why I don't play video games. My life is already like
in my background,
like Dark Souls. What?
No, I just look at the shot and I'm like, there's a box in the background. Another nasty box in the background. I'm listening.
Yeah,
dirty back. Why is it dirty?
So when I'm not, I try. Whoa. I try to find the time to do certain things. what have I been doing? I finally finished Yu Yu Hakusho, the anime.
The anime.
Yep.
Yeah.
Finally finished it.
Was it worth the 100 and something episodes or whatever?
How many episodes is it? 70?
I didn't count.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google it while you
I
chat.
didn't count. There's quite a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
And I think I really like where it was going. But then it just kind of like got to a point where it's just like, yeah, the guy clearly just wanted to end it. Apparently the anime ends better than the manga. The manga ends worse, actually.
Oh, they hated the manga
Really?
ending.
Yeah, the manga ending it's just
To
like
this day. Yeah.
they just kind of like a lot of things happen off screen.
Yeah,
they just do it like a recap. They just in the next like page they just say, oh, so and so has moved on, blah blah blah. And then there's a few like episodic things, and then it finishes.
It's 112 episodes, it seems.
Yeah. Whereas in the anime, the last portion of it, I didn't really like as much, because it was clear that it was just like, okay, guy's done. The guy's a bit tired of it. He could have gone a bit further with it, but like it got to a point where I was just like, okay, I'm not really into the story right now. And then it just kind of like he just wraps things. It just wraps up a bit cleaner in the anime.
Right, I see.
Yeah, okay. A little bit cleaner, and a bit like, okay, everything's done. Like you don't really yearn for more. But you also kind of don't understand certain things, certain decisions, certain characters make. Yusuke, he's like, he's a ruffian, isn't it? He's
in the demon one, right?
Yeah,
with the eye.
No, Yusuke, the main character. The main character.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
the one that dies in the beginning. That guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
So he just fights. That's his answer to everything, right? And his character from the beginning is just like, he's not only a good fighter, but he's actually very sneaky. So he can fight someone that's much stronger than him, but because he's quite sneaky, he can beat them. So once he was fighting someone in the dark, the person could see him in the dark, but he couldn't see them. And then because he smokes, he took his cigarette. First, he lit a cigarette before they went into the fight. And then the guy was beating him up in the dark. And then what he did is that he took the lit cigarette and put it in the guy's belt so that he could see the light. So it's just good. Like stuff like that is really fun.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that ways that it goes. You're just like, oh, it's not like a typical shonen thing where it's just like, oh, this person's gonna get some crazy power up and whatever. But then the last saga is a bit pointless in that it's like, where were you going with this? And it builds up and then it just kind of falls flat.
Right.
And you're like, okay, so that last fight was a bit like, what was the point?
Mm-hmm.
You know, imagine like, I don't know, Bleach, Ichigo's, rearing up to fight Aizen, right? And then he fights Aizen, and then in the fights, Ichigo doesn't kind of like, Ichigo is just like, what's the point? And then Aizen is like, yeah, I'm just going to go on a journey now.
What?
Yeah.
That would be just weird. Yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah,
wow.
So they introduce all these characters, and you're like, what's the point of this part? Like, it should have ended in the previous, like, saga. So yeah, that was,
Would you...
Yeah.
So how would you rate it? Because a lot of people kind of say, oh, Yu Yu Hakusho was so amazing and and that, and it just sounds a bit overrated.
Yeah, I think it's, for the time that it was created, I think it's actually quite groundbreaking, because it's the reason why Bleach nearly didn't get serialized, because Bleach was too similar.
Wow.
Yeah, they're saying, oh, this is too similar to Yu Yu Hakusho.
It is. Yeah.
But like for its time, I think I could see why it's like it has a good fan base. I really like the characters. Like the characters are designed well. They're all like, their personalities are good. Like in terms of, like, they're very interesting to watch. And they always have, for some reason, they always have drip. Like, they always have drip, man. Like, the Yu Yu Hakusho drip is a thing. For some reason, you know that,
with their
like that kind
baggy trousers.
Yeah, and the jackets, and then there's that 90s anime kind of
Aesthetic,
aesthetic.
yeah.
Yeah.
The 90s anime drip. Yeah, that's what they have. So it's good, and there's some like really interesting like power systems, but it's not always consistent. But I think for its time, it was actually very good in
Do you
terms
feel
of
like
yeah.
because you've watched so many anime with so many different power systems that, and obviously like story tropes and cliches and stuff that
Yeah.
sort of numbs the story a bit.
A little,
Yeah.
because it's just like I'm at the point where I'm just like, okay, we're watching Jujutsu Kaisen, the anime. You know, we've read all the manga, so we're used to the fighting being a bit more intelligent.
Hmm.
You know, like it's being a bit more, there being more rules
Yeah.
to it, which there was at the beginning, where it's like, okay, Yusuke can only, at some point, he can only shoot one shot, and then he runs out of chi, and then, you know, it gets to a point that he can do 5 fingers, and then when he runs out of 5 fingers, he's weakened. But like, there are points where it's just like, it just, all that just kind of goes out the window. Which is just kind of typical of the
power scaling stuff.
Yeah, like in those days, it was just like stereotypical, and you kind of forgive it because of the time that it was created. Whereas now people are looking for a bit more depth. So like, and take Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho, like the same author, but the depth.
Is it the same author?
Same author, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Togashi, he did that. Yeah.
So you can see some of his thinking there in maybe the second saga when he introduces this thing called domains, where
in
Yu Hakusho.
Oh, I don't know.
Where
Okay.
Where there's someone that if you step into a radius around them, you're in their domain, and there's rules to their domain. It's a bit like
Right.
JJK.
Like JJK domains.
It's
like
a
domain
bit like
expansion.
that,
Okay.
but not as overpowered. So one person, he has a domain with words. So whatever he writes comes true. But another person, his domain is that he can read your mind. And another one's domain, he can copy you, he can transform into you. So like it's different. That was really interesting. But like it's not as consistent. Like that was the deepest that it got into. But there's some things that it's just like, okay, not typical of a shonen thing where it's like you expect to see someone training all the time to get stronger, but they just kind of skip it because it's just like that's not really important to the story that they're telling. They just say they were training for 6 months and then it's the next scene.
Right. Okay.
But it's good, man. It's enjoyable.
Do that in Bleach, and I don't like it when they do that in Bleach as well.
Yeah, it's just kind of skip.
Yeah.
So it doesn't give you that kind of context. Like, it's for the sake of what? That was
the hell
what
was
the hell was that?
That's a suitcase.
Yeah.
So for the sake of the story, I guess it's forgiving. But like again, there's some things that I hit and miss with it. But I can see why it's kind of like iconic.
Yeah.
I do like the characters. The characters are really cool.
Okay.
So,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, nice one. What was I? Okay, so what I've been doing, I'm doing like multiple things really. So still playing Kazan the First Berserker. Like I remember I showed you that vid, Elijah, with that stupid thing.
Oh, that must have been so painful.
I was like, oh, I finally killed this thing, and they killed it, and I was like, why is nothing happening? Like, what's happening? Do I have to loot the coffin or something? And so we got the coffin, and it's just like, and I was like, oh.
And then it just destroys you.
And I had like still 4 or 5 like health stuff left, but it was just like the shock just made me because it's all pattern recognition, right? Because after a while, not like how you're playing Clair Obscur, you go to a boss and you don't know what the pattern is.
Oh my god, it's so annoying.
So when you don't know the pattern, you're trying to do it on like instinct.
Yeah,
right.
And then sometimes the enemies do some. It's not as bad as Elden Ring swings, but sometimes they do some Elden Ring swings, and you're like not like I'm gonna hit you, I'm gonna hit you, I'm gonna hit you. It's coming.
They start fainting you.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Elden Ring. It's not bad as Elden Ring. It's just a bit more like sometimes like you have counters, and some of the counters you see the symbol, and you like in Sekiro, where you see the symbol on your head, and you're supposed to do a skill. And in Sekiro, it's like instant. When you see it, I think for the most part you do have to just do the relevant ability at that time. But in this one, not all attacks come at the same speed, so you have to like learn the ability of the same speed. But anyway, it's good though. It's not as annoying as Elden Ring pauses or anything else like that. Like the combat is tight. Like when you lose, you know why you lost. you're like it doesn't feel like you're cheated at all. You're just like, yeah, okay, I know why I should have parried and I didn't parry or whatever, or I should have dodged and I didn't dodge. Like that move is a grab.
Listen to audio cues. That's what they keep telling you on YouTube. Bollocks, bro. It's so hard.
There's actually quite a decent amount of audio cues in Kazan actually, because the counter has a particular sound, so you know it's coming, and you have the symbol, but you just have to know the timing of the attack. And when you know the timing, you do it too early, and it gets back in the face.
I can't lie. I can't.
Yeah, and they have this thing that I'm like, this should be in every single like fighting game now that I like this called. No, there's parries where you just hit block at the right time, and the parry window is actually quite high. So it's quite easy to like, get parries in. You don't have to do it like exactly, but there's something called reflection, right? Reflection basically is a command. You have to press L1 and triangle. When you do L1 and triangle, he basically does like a swing with his attack, like a really quick one. Doesn't do any damage, doesn't hit anything. But if an attack is coming at you and you do it at the right time, you basically just like knock the person's attack away.
Yeah, it's like that's right. They have in Kingdom Come Deliverance. Yeah.
Do they? Okay, because basically, I probably did it in the videos that I sent. Basically, where if you parry, the enemy just keeps going, and you just hit their stamina bar down. But if you reflect them, they stop, and you basically take like half their reflection. The entire that massive bar, you take half of it, and then you can just like get an attack opportunity. And because it's not, the timing isn't the same as just like seeing the attack come and you press it. You have to basically understand the timing of the attack and understand the timing of you click it, and basically like it may take like half a second to actually come out. So there's like, you have to get used to like the timing of the attack, the timing of your thing. But it's like, it's such a nice extra piece of like combat utility in there, because you can parry, reflect, and it's just like, it just makes you look like sick. So still playing that one. I think I'm like 70-something% through, almost finished. Story is nonsense, but like the combat is just so tight.
Oh, nice.
Also finished watching what's it called? Blood of Zeus. And I
finished that too. Yeah,
I like it, but that ending felt a little bit rushed.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt a little bit like the last episode happened. They obviously did what they had to do. Spoilers. Do what they have to do, and then sort of like, it's just a bit like, oh, and this happened, and they're fine. And I was like, what about the girl though? What about his love interest? What happened with her? Like, they don't. Right. Have you seen it, Elijah? By the way,
I haven't seen it, but I know if it's based on season 2, I think I know what you're talking about. You said love interest.
I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it. Like, but it felt a little bit rushed right at the end, and I was like, wait. Like, basically, like, it resolves well. But it's just, they feel like they probably needed like one more episode to like really tie it up a bit better. Still really good though, but I just feel like they could have done one more episode just to like help us reflect, because everything sort of happens and you have like 5 minutes for them to wrap everything up, and they wrap it all up in like 5 minutes.
Is it done or will there be another season?
It's done.
Really?
I'd be surprised if they do another. If they do another season, it will have to be different characters.
Oh, okay.
I think so. But you see it when you watch it. And lastly, sorry, what was that?
How do you rate the seasons? Like, because it's done now.
I think it's really good. Like, when I watched the first season, I was like, okay, it's okay. Like, I wasn't like blown away. I was just like, it's all right. Like, the animation was like fine. You know, the story was like interesting, but I was like, okay, fine. And then watching, I was like, it's all right. Like, I would say, yes, a good show. And then the second season happened. And the way that second season ended, I was like, oh my God. My God. Like, that second season was probably the best season, I think, because of all the stuff that was like building up from the first season.
Yeah.
Like, the character development of the I can't remember his name, like Heron and his brother is just it's like A+, right?
Very good.
Even of the gods,
Hades was good.
It's still there. Hades one is, oh geez, like that second season was just
it was a really good season.
Third season is still good because it's still building up from the second one. I just feel like their resolution was quick. That's all. But I still think it was good. To be honest, like, I still think the whole thing is good. Like, there were lots of like consequences and really sort of finality to decisions being made. Things happened, and it was like, there's no going back now. You know. So I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just a
very good.
shame that animated series don't really get like awards and love. It's like you just have to be there to watch it. Like anime, you know which ones are the best ones because they kind of have award system and all of this stuff. But with other animated
Western
series,
side,
Western
not
anime,
really.
they don't really no. Apart from the Oscars, maybe, and also
They get voice actor awards now, but it's not really in the big scale. It's very sort of small scale
Yeah.
kind of
yeah,
thing.
like how many people know that? Oh yeah, Blue Eye Samurai is amazing watch. Like
Yeah.
other than you're just an anime fan,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this probably was like a good way to like segue into the anime awards. Oh wait, actually, you know what? Let's just go straight to anime awards. We'll just do a marathon thing a different day. So anime awards happens. It's a Crunchyroll sort of hosted, funded. I don't know the right words to use thing, but it's a Crunchyroll thing. And the thing that I guess we've realized from this is that it's voter powered. So there aren't like any of these critics sort of going through and society. I feel like it would be fine if there was a bit of both, you know, but it seems to be purely just voter powered, and it's like fair.
Sure.
And like I looked at a quick summary. We all watched a quick summary of like the winners and stuff now. Yeah, I see him.
Yeah.
So
Well, I watched the shorts that you sent me.
Oh, the one that Elijah sent. Okay, I watched like two videos. One video that just basically said these are the winners, and I watched another one who there's a guy who I think Demi, you've seen him before. He's just like, I think he might be like Asian. I'm not even sure or where he's from. And he was actually at the ceremony doing the awards, and he did a quick like video of like what he thinks, because obviously he's the one saying who the winners are or saying he can't be like, oh, that's just like a terrible idea or whatever. But at the end of it, he does this video thing that says like, you know, as much as like, you know, he really thought it was really fun and it was really good, and a lot of like, you know, anime is now blowing up like globally, like it's this huge. CN BBC did like a news thing about it. It seems for some reason, yeah. Like there's BBC on YouTube. I saw a clip of it with the solo leveling guy on it saying anime blowing up, which it is because One Piece is doing like, you know, making the rounds and so on and so forth. And the guy said something really interesting about like Western anime and the people who watch anime in the West and what type of animes that Westerners seem to be more drawn to or at least exposed to are the ones that just really have massive action, right? So, you know, the other ones like the more confusing, complicated, like weirder ones don't really get that much visibility in the West. For like the hard, like if you're like a hardcore like anime watcher like us, we watch like loads of different myriad of things. But if you're being introduced to it and from a new perspective, the stuff that's really coming at you is going to be things like Solo Leveling, going to be things like maybe Attack on Titan, maybe, you know, like and stuff like that. Like Demon Slayer would be something that we big,
of course, yeah.
You know, for these people. Like, without going too much into that, like for us, it just feels a little bit like the things that it's a popularity contest, really, and it's just about the amount of money that they've sunk into the animation team and nothing to do with the actual like story, which we'll get into. Okay. So I'm only going to mention there are quite a lot of awards, and some of them aren't really relevant to us. Like, for example, Best Director. Like, I don't know any directors, you know, so it doesn't. So I'm going to basically go over the ones that sort of matter. Anime of the Year is the first one, and the people who were up for, you know, debate were Solo Leveling, Dan Dan, Delicious in Dungeon, Freyren, Kaiju Number 8, and Apothecary Diaries, right? In my, do you want to guess who won?
I mean,
we know who won.
Solo Leveling won.
That's the most egregious bit. It's the base. It's what they based it on. It was season 1, not season 2.
Oh, it's based off season 1.
Season 1, bro. That's
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's why I didn't tell you. Season 1, bro.
That's even worse.
That's even worse. Exactly. That's even worse. But how is it possible?
It's not like it's a bad anime, but
no, it's not.
But it's not. It's just so generic, man.
When you compare Solo Leveling to Dan to Dan,
I would have put Dan to Dan above it easily.
Dan to Dan is
easily above it.
Kaiju Number 8 should even be on this list.
Why is it on the list?
Kaiju Number 8 is in the Anime of the Year list. Maybe because there aren't that many this year. I don't know. But Kaiju Number 8 is there. People, like, I have some couple of friends who like it. And they like because, you know what? The animation is good and the fights are good.
But animation, you can't base everything on animation.
Literally, that's all this thing is based off now. It's just hype. All it is hype. It's just hype.
But that's hype, because that's how Demon Slayer is really popular. It's carried by animation, right?
Yeah. Well, in our opinion, like we feel like
I feel like wait, people are gonna rip us because I'm gonna
Let
share
them
this
rip.
in one of my
Let
communities.
them rip.
People who
I feel like it's bad. Like Demon
just
Slayer
like- it's just
isn't
like-
bad.
it's just like Black Clover,
Yeah,
for example.
I'm so happy
right?
that's not in this list.
So he has some
It's-
scenes that were
it's
really
Black
good, really
Crystal
well
Alive.
animated,
yeah. There's some scenes that are like
but people
well
were
animated.
obsessed with it, and I'm like,
It's the
okay, if that's what you like,
it.
that's cool. But like,
Mm.
are you just basing it? And it's like when you ask people, okay, what's so good about this thing? Is it the story? Is it the fact that it's just the animation? They just don't want to admit it because
Yeah.
if they say the story is good or whatever, you can like what you like, by the way.
Mm.
But for the sake of argument, I will not put Solo Leveling in anime of the year based on what I've seen from season 1.
Right.
Definitely not season
Because
1.
I've watched maybe 12 episodes now, and I'm enjoying it. I am really enjoying it. Like, but I know it's just what it is. Like, it's not. I'm not watching anything like, oh my god, this is the most groundbreaking anime I've ever watched. Dan Dan is so good that I've read all the manga, and I still watch the anime.
Yeah,
that's kind of my criteria here. If I'm good, I'm willing to go back and watch it, even though I know that I've read it already, which is something I don't normally do. Like, as much as I like One Piece, I don't go back and watch it. You know,
that's interesting. Actually,
so like, I wouldn't. If I'm not going to go back and like Dan to Dan, that's why I would rate Dan to Dan higher than Solo Leveling personally, because I'm just like, Solo Leveling is good quality stuff and like I'm enjoying it and blah blah blah. But in terms of depth, it's not the most. It's not the most like.
No, like there are definitely categories here where Solo Leveling, I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, I'm happy that you won that, but it did win a lot. Like if we went to the next one, basically is best continuing series. It's not in this, but there's Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War, My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, One Piece, Oshinoko, which I've seen but not watched, and Spy X Family season 2 apparently. And the winner was Demon Slayer. And the guy said something also quite interesting where he was like, the latest season of Demon Slayer isn't actually that good compared to the other ones. Like basically because there isn't that many, like, there are events that happen, but it's not a spectacle like season 1 and 2 is. Right. So basically the only thing that carries it is the story. Right. So it's actually a weaker season because basically the end of that arc is basically when they go into the castle. I can't remember what.
So nothing really happens in this season. They just train.
It's basically it's the training arc essentially. It's the Hashira training arc. So you introduce a few more characters, and he basically learns he's training on the robot version of that samurai, and he basically like, the one with the Hashira with the kid with the long hair. He basically like, levels up in it as well. Gets a bit of his background story. He's sort of like his character development. Like, it's because it's just the training arc. No action really happens until the end, and the action happens at the end isn't even that exciting.
Okay.
So it's still, like, again, it's fine to watch. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but it's a much weaker season compared to like the last season. The last season, like, action was like a crazy spectacle, whereas this one was much, much tamer. 1,000-Year Blood War. I haven't watched 1,000-Year Blood War, so you guys have to decide.
Yeah, I have. I liked it.
It's all right. Like, I'm not raving about it, but like they're doing the best with what they have.
Yeah,
the best of what they have.
Yeah, it's
story-wise, it's a bit mad.
My Hero Academia. I mean, I like My Hero Academia, but I haven't been watching it because I'm watching. Not that fast.
I just fell off of it. I didn't like the last arc.
Yeah. And then One Piece, and One Piece is, I mean, to be fair, One Piece animation has been like, One Piece is just One Piece, to be honest. Like, but apparently they win a lot, so I'm also not really that fussed about them not winning. Oshinoko, again, like I said, haven't seen. And Spy X Family, it's fun. It's a fun watch. I'm not against Demon Slayer actually winning this. The guy who I watched was, I think, said basically because it's actually quite a weak season, he's surprised that it won. Like, he actually thought One Piece would win.
Fair, because One Piece has become even more popular in recent times.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, One Piece is so big now. Like, the people that I know who their kids, they're buying it for their kids.
Wow.
Now, and I think Lizzie bought one for her niece, and I had to be like, oh, that's the one where I can't remember which one it was. Was it where? Wasn't the one there? Oh yes, it's the one with Chopper. It's Chopper arc where his teacher kills himself.
What's the-
I was like, it's funny. Oh,
So depressing.
these kids don't know what they're in for.
Did you see? Speaking of Chopper, did you see the
A
trailer?
little
Yeah,
bit,
season
like
two,
a little
season
bit,
two, yeah.
like a little bit of it. We can talk about that a little bit later, maybe
Yeah.
another time. Next one, best animation. Actually, no, before that, best new series. And best new series was Dan Dan, Delicious in Dungeon, Freyren, Kaiju Number 8, Apothecary Diaries, and Solo Leveling. Basically, the same thing as
pretty
Anime
solid.
of the Year.
It's
And
pretty
Solo
solid.
Leveling won.
So Leveling won.
Yeah, best new series,
Wow.
Solo Leveling won. I would have said
Okay.
Dan
Dan or
Dan-
Delicious
Dan-
Dungeon.
yeah.
Delicious in Dungeon and Dan are my two favorites in that list.
Yeah,
Delicious in Dungeon
it's so good.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch up with it.
It's
man.
so
It's
good.
like it's so hard to like even describe why it's good. It's good because it's just really fun to watch. Like you watch it and there's just stuff. I wouldn't even describe it as like it's not an action It's not an action
not.
anime. It's not. It's a bit of a gag anime, but not like big gag. Not like One Punch Man.
It's
or
a cooking
anything.
anime.
It's a cooking anime, yeah. But there's like
Like
story.
Toriko cooking anime or
No. So
no.
Toriko is like action
Action.
and cooking a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like fantasy cooking,
Yeah.
I guess. But there's like a deeper story there
Yeah.
that gets sort of like drip fed to you, really. That comes to like quite the arc towards the end. But I mean, because there basically going to be another season, or there should be another season. But it's just the characters are great. The characters are just great. They get in situations you're like, well, how are they going to get out of this? It's funny and it's just really fun to watch. And the animation is good. The animation that they do is good quality animation. Like it's not crazy. It's not a spectacle. It's just consistently good. You know. Next one. Film of the year we'll skip because I don't think any of us actually watch any of these films. But it's like Haikyuu,
No, we don't.
Mononoke, the movie, which I didn't know what that was. My Hero Academia, it's just one of those like weird.
I don't watch
movies that
anime
they do.
films.
Yeah. Look Back, which apparently was quite good, but I don't know what it is. Spy Family and Colors Within, so we can that's that one. We can skip that one. I'm gonna skip Best Original Anime as well because I don't think any of us know I've watched any of these ones before. But the winner is Ninja Kamui, which I didn't bother watching.
I just heard that they said they couldn't believe that one. It should have been something else.
Basically, okay, out of the list was Ninja Kamui Bukigiri, which I don't know what that is. Oh, that's the one. Wait, is that the one with the? That's not out yet, though, is it? Not the one where he turns trash into stuff, is it? That's something else. That's something maybe else. Girls Band Cry, which I never heard of. Jellyfish.
Yeah, they said that's the one that should have won. Girls
Can't Cry. Right. Girls Band Cry, sorry. Jellyfish, Cats Swim at Night, Metallic Rouge, or Rogue Rouge, I think. Train to the West, to the End of the World, which again, don't know that one. Best Animation, Demon Slayer, Dan, Dish and Dungeon. I've done that one, right?
You've done that one,
yeah. Best Character Design. Now, this was interesting. The winner was Dan, and I completely agree with that because the character designs and like even his powered version is just
it's so cool, man.
It's such original design. They had like Kaiju Number 9 in there. They had Apothecary Diaries in there. They had Freyren in there. Division Dungeon in there, and Demon Slayer. Best Director will skip. Best Background Art. I don't really know if we know enough about that because the winner was Freyren, which I agree. Like Freyren's like I said, nothing really happens in it. It's almost like almost like a drama fantasy slice of life thing. But Freyren won that one. Best Romance. I haven't watched any of these ones. Ranma Half was in there.
Ranma Half is good.
Best Romance.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
You told us about that one a while ago.
There's one called Blue Box, which won, which I know what it's about, but I've never watched it. It's about a painter in school. It looks good, but I'm like, do I want to watch a romance about painting? I'm like, Best Comedy winner was Mashal. It was going up against Vision in Dungeon. Konosuba, which I never heard of before. My Dear Friend, No Kotam, which I've never heard of before. Ranma Half, and Spy X Family. Mashal is quite funny. So I think that's fine. Best Action. Okay, now this one, I think we'd be able to talk about. Solo Leveling, Bleach, Dan, Demon Slayer, Kaiju Number 8, Windbreaker. I've never seen Windbreaker, actually. I've seen it around, but I never bothered watching it because I was like, the winner was Solo Leveling. And actually, I think that's fine because the action in Solo Leveling is especially in season 2. But even
It's
though I don't
not
know,
season
it's not
2.
ba-
That's the
I know,
problem.
it's not based on season 2. But I'm just saying, like the action in Solo Leveling is.
I'm
pretty
just
good.
saying, if season 1 won all of this year, is a wrap for next
Would you
year.
say season 1 action in Solo Leveling was better than Bleach? 1,000-Year Blood War. The conflict,
yes.
apparently.
I'd
Solo
say
Leveling
yes.
season 1 compared.
I'd say yes.
Because I feel like with Bleach, I mean, from the comics I'm thinking of, it's more vibes than it is actually like
Yeah,
meat.
that in 1,000-Year Blood War, there hasn't been like a fight that's kind of like long drawn out like properly.
Right.
Yeah, but then neither the
it's
season 1 though.
few and far between. Like Solo Leveling, every couple of episodes, he's like fighting some monsters about to the verge of death. So
at the start of Solo Leveling, like it was interesting how he was going to like defeat the monsters. It gets to a point where it's just like, okay, well, doesn't really matter
he's
now.
He's the strongest character in the entire series. It's like,
by the end of season 2, he's like,
Yeah.
he's too strong. Like it just doesn't make any sense after a point. There's a point where he meets a monster and you're like, okay, this one will give him a bit of a fight. And it does for like a couple of seconds, and then he wins, and you're like, oh, okay, fine, never mind.
It gets worse in season 2. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Like it's still a spectacle, but you start thinking like, oh, okay, this would be interesting. Like it's still very fun to watch, but I feel like they should just, like
apparently they will.
Anyway, but
they will with the villains that come next season.
Right. I mean, also because power scaling is so high now. I'm like, you're introducing the villains now. I mean, we saw them, but I'm just a bit like, the power scaling is so over the top at the moment, and you're telling me these people are going to come and what are they going to do? Clap hands, and then the whole world blows up.
No, apparently they're ridiculous.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, we see them at the end of it, but it's just it's
the apostles, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, the Danadan, actually, there are better fights coming in the Danadan. Even though I think so. I don't know if you think it's the same.
Yeah,
like
the next season, yeah.
Like it gets quite inventive.
Mm-hmm.
I think because the Danadan season 1, he's still learning how to do stuff and everything else. So even though the action there is good in season 2, it starts to get like.
When the third eye guy
comes when Evil Eye comes. And Evil Eye comes.
Evil Eye is the scariest character in that whole thing, man. He's just so bloody scary.
Evil Eye is so funny. It's so good.
Is Dandadan finished? Like the actual series?
No, still going.
No. Still going.
There's some weird stuff going on at the moment. I'm like, what's happening?
Okay.
Okay, so that's best action. Isekai anime, I'm happy to skip that. I've just
skip that. Okay.
Grey Zero apparently won, which makes you kind of want to watch it again.
I did not like Grey Zero. I didn't even know season 1.
I didn't know it was him still going.
For me, it fell off, man. But
yeah. Best drama was Frey Ren, which I'm like, yeah, fine. Best slice of life, we'll skip. Best main character, we had Frey Ren, Kafka Hibino from Kaiju number 8, Mao Mao from Pokotari Diaries, Momo Ayase from Danadan, and Sung Jinwoo Solo Leveling, and Sung Jinwoo for the Leveling 1. Which that's just silly. Like, there's no.
Sung Jinwoo in season 2, yes. Season 1, no way.
I mean, even season 2, I'm like, there's no.
Season 2, I can see why they will give him as the best character, because he's basically just
vibes,
or it's all farming, right? When you see him like, he does feel like a cool character.
I would have preferred, right, if most of that anime was like the first episode. You know, the first episode, he had to figure out like the puzzle. It was like him playing a video game.
Yeah.
I quite like that. The only video game thing about it now is that he can just bring out items from shit and he levels up. That's it. All that stuff goes out the window. There's and I thought it would mostly be that, because that was a really interesting like first episode.
Yeah.
I mean, who would I pick as the best main character from this?
Why is Kafka in this?
I don't know why Kafka is in it, because I don't know. Maybe because it's just a new anime.
Momo from Dandadan was quite cool.
Momo was quite fun. I mean, I like Mao Mao as well from Pokotari Diaries. Like, I think she's quite interesting as a character. In fact, I think I would pick Mao Mao.
The one thing that would have made Kafka, because when I read this is why I don't rate Kaiju number 8, right? It's because they made it seem like he would be special because he knows how to clean up. So remember his previous job was that he was in the cleanup.
He knew all this stuff.
So he knows all the weak points and stuff like that. They do nothing with that.
Nothing.
Literally nothing.
Yeah. They forgot what they were writing, it seems like. just becomes a punch person.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's just not interesting. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, why is this thing in this list? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Why did it get after rewatching Maggie? I'm like, how does Maggie don't get any funding, and things like Kaiju Number 8 gets like all this stuff because
is it funded by Crunchyroll? Or is it?
Is it? I don't know. Because basically, we can see like the production value in Maggie start to really decline in the last season. Obviously, it got cancelled. They didn't do any more after that one. Like they poured all the money into the last episode of Maggie, but the build up after that, the animation quality just like goes off a cliff. Like, and the story is actually good, which is the thing that's really frustrating about it. The story is actually good. So part of me, I'm thinking like, why are these things where the story doesn't even? There's no story. Like if you read Demon Slayer, there's no action. The action Demon Slayer is not very well illustrated. Like I actually stopped reading it because I got bored of reading it because I was like, the story isn't deep and the action isn't illustrated that well in the manga.
You know what made me laugh every time when the actor admitted that, you know, all the stone breathing, like this not actually happening in real time, it's just in their heads.
Oh yeah,
when I heard that, it just turned me off completely. Because when I'm seeing some of the best animation, like that.
It's not real.
It's a clip of stone breathing. Like you see them literally break the things with the stones. I'm like, oh my god, that's ridiculous. And then it's just they're just hallucinating. After that, I was like, oh, that
would have been so easy.
It really put me from the experience.
You shouldn't just say like. I mean, we'd still be like, but how are they generating the water, the fire? How is it? Because they were going into the asteroids that they used to make the swords, and they did nothing with it. So this is how they make the sword. They go get this asteroid that crashed on the planet, and they make the blades out of it. And you touch it, and it changes color because it's based on something.
Well, that means nothing.
But they did nothing with it. You're just like, okay, so what? Like I was thinking, this is going to connect all the dots for no. All they do is breathe hard, and they squeeze the sword hard. That's what they do. That's literally in the manga. That's literally in the manga. They squeeze the sword really hard. That's like, what is that? Anyway, moving on. Best supporting character, Freiren. Oh, Fern from Freiren, which I'm like, yeah, fine, whatever. But runners up are like Himo from Freiren, Jinshi from Pokemon Diaries, Seiko from Dandadan. Who's Seiko? Is that the grandma?
The guy isn't Seiko.
Seiko Ayase. Who's Seiko again? I think
it's the grandma.
It's the grandma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Turbo Granny, which I'm like, Turbo Granny's great.
Yeah.
Gonna skip Most Protect at all costs because I find that a really weird one. And then the rest stuff kind of goes to like the music. And Creepy Nuts won quite a few of them, which I think is deserved.
Yeah.
Like best anime song was Creepy Nuts.
Yeah, it has to be.
Best score was Solo Leveling, which I'm like, yeah, fine.
Over Freiren.
Over Freiren, you mean? Over best score? Freiren isn't even in the list. Oh, no, it isn't in the list. Sorry.
What's the dance on Solo Leveling that would... I can't think of a single track I'm like...
The categories on this thing are lackluster to me.
They're not the best. And then the last two are... Not the last two, really. They do best performance in voice acting, but I'm going to skip those. Best opening sequence, Creepy Nuts, obviously, for Dandadan. And best ending sequence was Solo Leveling. Which again, I'm like...
Can't even remember what the song
was. I remember what it's even like. I skipped most of the tracks. But I think, to be honest, with anime tracks, like there's some that are just like bangers, and there's some that are just like meh.
I mean, the other one, yeah.
Like for example, like for Orb, right? Even though I've never skipped the intro for Orb, I didn't rate the intro until one day. My housemate Thomas just played it because he was like, "Oh, what's this one again?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's Orb." And I just played. I was like,
yeah, it took me a while to enjoy it. Yeah,
actually, and whenever it plays, like Lizzie always like starts singing along to it, like because I actually was like, you know what, I'm adding that to my Spotify. That's actually
yes, and guess Orb didn't get a single nomination.
And yes, even the guy that I watched today, he said Lacey he was surprised that Orb isn't in there. Like Orb should be in there for.
I thought maybe it's because it came out late, but no,
for like at least best part drama.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Didn't get a single nomination, man. Just that.
It's not in there, and there are probably some others.
It'll forever be a sleeper hit. Such a shame.
And there are probably some others actually this year that I can't think of that probably could be in this list. But really, as we said, it's popularity contest, isn't it? So it's just...
Vinland Saga got in these lists last time around and Orb didn't. Like...
Oh, did it?
Yeah, when Vinland Saga
But
came out,
when
season 2, it got on the
Demon
list.
Slayer was around then too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if it's just like, was Attack on Titan in any of them?
I had to,
I
yeah,
can check this, to
100%.
be honest.
Attack on Titan was even in this one, wasn't it? In terms of the
Mm,
final part, no? Was
I
it?
don't see. I
No,
don't.
no, no, no. That's last year. It's last year.
Yeah, because this one had
It won
last
awards
year.
last year.
Oh, last anime of the year was Jujutsu Kaisen,
Yeah, not surprised.
which
I
makes
think it
sense. So,
swept. Did it sweep like Solo Leveling though?
Solo Leveling isn't
Because
even in this one
in
last
terms
year.
of the
So
score, man, JJK score is amazing.
yeah, there's no Solo Leveling in last year's one. It was basically big winners with things like Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, One Piece, Chainsaw Man. See, there's like a decent split, but actually there are quite a lot of Demon Slayer winners last year, which again you're just like, why?
It's popular. I think it's
Like,
more the fan votes.
yeah, the fan votes really skew things. Just what's popular, really, as you said before, Elijah. It's just what's popular.
How much
That
budget you can throw at something.
Which is okay.
yeah,
I mean,
and then we should just budget. Yeah, to me, it's just budget.
Yeah, I don't.
The
To
budget
be honest, I've never
awards.
thought, why didn't this anime win all these awards? I've never really felt like that before. I usually just look at the nomination to see, oh, what have I watched? Have I not watched? Is the stuff that I haven't watched worth looking at based on the
Mm,
nominations? That's kind of how I look at it. Now I don't really think, oh, it's a travesty that thing they do. Only if the things I watched weren't that good and I see them winning awards, I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah, I think like
But
it's just.
yeah,
I think this year's anime. I mean, at the moment, I don't know how you guys feel about anime these days, but I find it really hard to find anime. Like really hard. A lot of anime is just meh. Like meh. Like I haven't bothered watching the Bleach stuff. Obviously I started rewatching One Piece. And I'm basically up to date now. And like I watched Solo Leveling, but I literally watched it in the background. Like I didn't sit down and focus. It was just like as I'm doing something else, I just put it on. When I was in the gym, I put it on. When I was doing washing up, I put it on. Like I'll basically like pause it when I'm done washing up and do something else. That's how
Okay.
I got through it. I didn't actually sit and go, "Oh my god, I need to watch the next episode." Like I never once did that. There was one bit which I won't spoil for Demi, like towards the end, where what he does to basically heal somebody. I don't know if you remember Elijah at the
at the
end.
end of season 2.
Yeah, where he does something to heal somebody, and I thought it was going to be like quite a twist because they put this thing in the air about his personality changing a bit. They keep like hinting at it,
Yeah.
right? And I thought what was going to happen was that he was going to like keep that person as a puppet,
Oh yeah.
and that would basically just like be
Yeah.
really.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you mean.
But he didn't, and I was like,
No.
oh, never mind. Like there are parts where I'm like, ooh, this could make it more interesting, and they don't do it, and I'm like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. So yeah, so these days like anime is like, in fact, there's probably more stuff I'm watching on Netflix anime than I am watching like stuff on
There's a lot of good
Crunchyroll
stuff
anime.
on Netflix, man.
Yeah, like
Even,
no, go on, say what you saying.
no, I was going to say even the classics they're bringing back, like Monsters on Netflix, which I'm going through right now. It's just a shame that they don't have the English dub because I like the dub version.
Right.
So I'm watching it on YouTube. But no, there's some good stuff that they're bringing back, man. So look at the classic stuff.
People make a joke saying basically like anime goes on Netflix to die, which is only half true. I think.
Man,
I think they do.
in there. Come on, man.
Like for example, you remember when they did that other one where he's the gangster that's like a housewife or whatever.
Yeah.
Sakamoto
That
Days.
thing that was shot on 5 frames per second.
God's sakes.
Yeah,
yeah. And also, what's it called? Which I also didn't care about this anime anyway.
Sakamoto Days.
No, Sakamoto Days actually has like frames in it, even though I don't really watch it. I don't find Sakamoto Days that interesting.
Oh,
you mean what's it called again? Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, yeah.
That where they literally were like
PowerPoint presentation.
Like, yeah, and now I don't know. Well, the ones that have come in, I don't think they were funded by Netflix. In fact, wait, actually, I lied because Castlevanias were funded by Netflix.
And Blue Eye Samurai wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the newer stuff is, but things like Freyren, which is on there, that was on Crunchyroll first, so that's not going to be.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah, the other animes that are bringing in that obviously have been elsewhere that they brought in. So they are doing better.
The originals are originals. The ones that aren't based on anime are good. The ones that are tend to be just absolute rubbish.
Yeah, the mangas you mean that they bring, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
ones based on manga. Sorry, not anime. Yeah, the ones based on mangas tend to be terrible.
Yeah, I think maybe they feel a bit like with the ones that they can fund, like Blue Eye Samurai, they're like short stints. Like they're 8 episodes, boom, get it out, high quality, done. Whereas like you can't bring in mangas that have like 80 something chapters. They're like, oh, I don't want to fund fund a possible like no, even if they did like one season, one season of something like I'm trying to think of a manga that I'm reading now. Like for example, another one with the
Wait,
trash.
they did. Oh wait, they did Orb though. Wasn't
Orb
that
is short
Netflix?
though.
It's
So I'm
20.
saying,
It's not. Yeah, but that's one season, 20 something episodes, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
like if it's like a long-standing one, like are they going to be willing to?
I mean, it depends what it is. Like Castlevania,
Castlevania again,
It's
long-standing,
not
they
based
right?
don't
on
have to
manga.
commit. They don't have to commit.
They make
Oh
their
yeah,
own
it's not
story.
based on manga. That's true.
Yeah,
They can just
based
do
on
one
their own
season.
stories.
They can do one season, and if it's rubbish, they don't have to do anymore. Because Castlevania could have ended in season one.
They should have done
I
Avatar.
mean,
Man.
well, it would have been a crap ending for the end of season one, but it could have technically ended season one.
Yeah.
So it's
God, I hope Avatar's good. I don't know if it's
Av-
Netflix. I don't know who's doing it. It's not.
oh,
Is it
the remix.
Netflix or is it Nickelodeon?
I don't even know.
Or the next season, the next series.
Yeah, the new Avatar that's coming up.
So like anime coming.
Well, I don't know if it's not the original people. It might.
No, it's the original people. I don't know, but who's sponsoring
okay.
it? Like who's investing in it? Is it Nickelodeon? Is it
It
Avatar?
might.
Sorry, is it Netflix or
Based
something
on.
else?
That's the thing about Nickelodeon. They don't have a designated streaming service, as far as I know. As in, like maybe they do, but like Ninja Turtles, it was on Netflix at the time. Well, the Ninja Turtles movie was on Netflix. Oh, that movie was so good. Oh damn.
Was it?
So the one with the Krangs, the rise
yes.
of TMNT.
Yeah, the ending thing that they did, that was pretty good. Yeah,
so good. So
Yeah,
that
pretty good.
series, oh my god,
it's a shame because what happened was even when you were watching
Such
it,
a
I was
shame.
like, didn't really do anything until
such a
right
shame.
at the
Yeah,
end.
I know.
So I
The
was like, I
pacing
don't really
wasn't
want to
good.
watch. I don't want
Yeah,
to watch
it
this
is
gag manga.
Nickelodeon. I just checked. It is Nickelodeon.
They even had
doing
they
it.
even had a JoJo episode. It was so good.
Did they?
Yeah, there was an episode where they were stuck in a time loop, and in the time loop they kept on trying on outfits,
Oh,
and the whole episode they're doing JoJo poses.
oh, see, that's what's weird about that is that they've made what 2 or 3 other TMNT cartoons, and you're like, but
They've done so many different versions.
you had one. Why would you cancel the one that you had and then make another one that's basically has the same vibe, but they just look different? Like I don't understand.
Rise was so good, and they was doing it so different.
Yeah, Rise was. Yeah, I liked Rise.
Like Shredder was
at the end anyway.
Shredder was like a ghost. Like he was like he wasn't he had redeeming qualities. It wasn't just this guy that's just supposed to take over the world. And oh man, it's a pity because that last episode,
yeah, they poured their money in there. They were like,
just like put all the money.
Yeah,
just
let
make
them
Naruto.
let them regret canceling us,
Bro.
Elijah, have you seen that? This clip we're talking to. Just
bro,
find it. Just find it on YouTube. It's crazy.
There's 2 fights in that are really good.
What's it called again? Let me see.
Rise of TMNT. There's one. Okay,
that one. Yeah.
There's the train fight, which is really cool, where they put on their old costumes with the red bandanas.
Oh yes,
that's really cool. Then there's the fight. Why did the balloons just pop up on my screen?
I don't know.
The hell, bloody
Happy
Max.
birthday.
Then there's a fight where they're in the city, and then it's like loads of them versus like Shredder.
Is this the Shredder? The Shredder's up before Shredder.
Before Shredder was Shredder.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
That
as well.
one. It was so.
And then
good.
when Shredder
and
is actually
when he's
Shredder.
actually Shredder, you're like,
yeah. It's
so
I might actually
good,
have to
man.
YouTube that later.
So good. Sometimes I just
good.
watch it. I'm just like, this was the choreography.
Peak.
And then the movie, the choreography was really good as well. Just like the Krangs are so overpowered. There's only 3 Krangs, and there couldn't be.
Yeah, they did something really interesting with that. That was really good, and it's a shame.
Yeah, it's a huge shame. Man.
Yeah, and I haven't watched the new ones because I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, and because there's newer ones also have some pretty good choreography in it too.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
Is there anything else? Because basically we've hit an hour on the dot.
There's one thing that I've started watching, which is the new Gundam.
Which one?
It's called Gundam G-Quacks. It's on Amazon.
G what? Oh, G. Oh, I see it.
Yeah, it's
But
got
it's a
like
movie.
10
It's a
years.
movie.
No, it's a series.
Oh, I see.
G-
Oh, I
G-
see. Moses movie.
It's on Amazon. It's basically based on the Universal Century timeline, but it's kind of like an offshoot of it or
Universal
something.
Century.
So there's a main timeline in Gundam, which is the Universal Century
You mean
timeline.
the one where not Gundam Seed, is it?
No, Seed
Okay.
is a different timeline. So all these different Seed and Iron Blooded Orphans and stuff, they're in their own timeline.
Right.
But the Universal Century timeline is when it looks more like traditional.
Right.
You know, when their noses are drawn in a certain way.
Oh,
they're kind of,
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's generally the Universal Century timeline. But this one, the art style is different.
Oh, okay.
But they're taking, I think I was just watching a YouTube video that said they're taking certain characters that are from that timeline and putting them in this story, which is really interesting. So it's like a what if.
Okay.
Yeah. I started
Is it
watching.
worth watching?
Iron Blooded Orphan.
It's I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet. Like I've watched 2 episodes. I'm intrigued to see where they're going with it because I tried Witch of Mercury and it just seemed a bit too like
I watched a couple of episodes.
It was too annoying. It's too girly. That's just very annoying.
It's something weird about Gundam because I don't know if it's like maybe I don't like giant robots that much. I'm not sure. Whenever I watch like a Gundam flick, I give it like a couple of episodes, and it's just something about it just irks me. I'm like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like Iron Blooded Orphans though.
But Iron Blood was just like original. I think what it is about Iron Blood Orphans, right, is that I guess it feels a little bit like the protagonists are on the back foot, and having the Gundams isn't really that like it was like a bonus, but it was like a negative bonus because every time he used it, he just made his body worse.
Yeah.
But like when the generic trope, especially like from back in the day when you watch Cartoon Network, if you have a Gundam, you're just OP, right? And I watched the other one where the Gundams are like, I think Tega really liked this one, but I didn't finish it. I found it a little bit like the Gundams were like being used they were being the villains to cause the war, the people who hurt war to come together.
Oh, Zero. Is it Gundam Zero?
Is that Zero? I don't remember if it's Zero.
What's the Z?
But in that one, basically, like the Gundams had this hyper technology, and everybody else had like many years in behind, basically. And the Gundams were just basically being villains in order to get the empires to come together and stop fighting each other instead. And I tried watching that one, and it was interesting, but after a while, you're just kind of like, because it's just hard to, I don't know, it's hard to care, I guess, because it just feels a little bit like you're just too OP. There's no threat. There's very little threat, I think, until other Gundams come.
Okay.
You know, and in Iron Blooded Orphans, it felt a lot more like they were the underdogs, and having one Gundam wasn't enough. You know what I mean? Like the Gundam was good, but like it's only like later on where you're like, oh, there are quite a lot of Gundams around, but it still felt like because they weren't the only ones with Gundams. You know, so it just felt more interesting to watch. But lately, when I watch a Gundam thing, I'm like, person who gets a Gundam shouldn't really be riding a Gundam in the first place. Like they're either like a school student or they're like some space like archaeologist or like someone who's a bit like on the spectrum.
Yeah.
It's
well, they're like, what do you call them? They're test tube.
Well, they're testing. Yeah, it just doesn't feel. I don't know. It just doesn't. I think Iron Blood more often just put it on like. Put the story at such a high level now that if it doesn't really hit that same.
Then it's different.
Then it just feels a little bit like meh.
It's so weird because if you look at the forums and they ask you which Gundams are the best, they always say it's like the 80s and 90s ones.
Really?
Like in terms of there's like they say it's like 3 that are like unequivocally the best ones. And I've never heard of them.
I think in those ones, Gundams also again weren't like these are overpowered machines. They were just you were either Gundam or Zaku, and Zaku was just the name of like one empire's robots, and Gundams were just the name of one empire's robots. You know, it wasn't like Gundams were these like crazy things. It was just like you either have Mitsubishi, you have a Honda, or you have a Ford. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was like that. But anyway,
I
digress. Okay. Anything else anyone wants to add before we close? No. Well, thanks for listening. If you are listening, hope you enjoyed us bitching about Demon Slayer. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks to talk about whatever else is going on. But
Yep.
yes.
Nice.
Peace out and
Peace.
have a good one.
Laters.
A bit.